Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss whether or not we would tour MGP's Ross and Squibb Distillery. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join in welcoming my co-host Steve Akeley, along with our special guests Luke Otero, Lenny Eckstein, and Ryan Thompson.
Hey gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hola.
Hello. So yeah, we're going to be talking about MGP today and our desire to tour that or not. We'll see what everyone thinks about that. We'll get to that after the break. There's no tours specifically of MGP, though you can. If you're doing a barrel pick, you can get a tour, and sometimes they do media ones, but that's it though. So no general public or anything like that. So we'll talk about should they do something like that. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, Ryan said there's something you want to talk about. What is that?
Yeah, I had a fun day yesterday in a place I'm certain that Luke knows of. I don't know, Lenny probably does too, but maybe not a lot of the rest of the world. But I was in Red River, New Mexico.
Okay.
And it's a cute little mountain town there, great little spot. And I grew up, I had an aunt and uncle that had a little cabin there off the beaten path. And it's probably been 35 years since I was there last, but
Right.
I found myself in the area and wanted to go see if I could find my old aunt and uncle's cabin. And sure enough, came across it and got some good pictures and sent to my brother and sister and went down a little memory lane. And I just was wondering when, do you guys go down memory lane on occasion when you're in certain areas or ever come across anything like that and enjoy it or seek it out or what?
Mm-hmm. Okay. For me, I mean, I haven't wandered much in my life. So, my mom still lives in the house that they bought 2 months before I was born. So my mom and dad lived there, my dad's entire life after 1967 when they bought that. And then my mom still lives there today and never really moved there or anything like that. But one time I do have something kind of like that. So the warden grew up till the 4th grade in Wisconsin. And so it was Port Washington area where we went. We went up there. It's near Milwaukee, and so we kind of toured that area. And then she's like, "I think I can remember how to get to my house," because again, this is 30, 40 years later, whatever. And we were able to track it down, and she got to see her old childhood home, which was pretty cool. And of course, it's always disappointing. Why did they do this? Why did they do that? They changed this. They're not going to keep everything exactly the same as when you live there. But yeah, so she got to see the place. So yeah. So nice. I thought that was kind of cool to be part of that. And not only the wife was there, but the daughter got to see where her mom lived at one point. So, yeah, she hated when she got moved. When you have to move in the 4th grade, you're not happy about it, right? Her dad got a different job. She was very angry, and famously they had like the neighbors over for like a welcome party, and Amy threw a fit and said, "I hate this place." Slammed her door, ran into the room and slammed the door. Wow. And, kind of shut down the party when they got that going. But yeah, it happens. When you're in 4th grade, like I said, you got friends. You're old enough to have pretty good friends that you're going to be moving away from, and very different than. Not that it's fun moving today in 2024 when you're in the fourth grade, but at least you can get on FaceTime. You can send them messages. You can email them. You can text them. There's a lot of things you can do. None of that was available to Amy when she moved. So yeah.
Nice.
Anybody else gone back and looking at something? Okay, you got one back there?
So it's not so much about me. It's about my grandfather, my mother's dad. So my parents and my brother and my grandfather, who just passed away this past year, they went to Germany. It's been quite a few years ago now, probably 10 years ago, I would guess, at least 10 years ago. And they had all these plans of all these places they're going to go to, and they're all excited. And they get there, and was Grandpa driving? No, so Mom was driving, but Grandpa was directing them to where they're going, and they're like, these are none of the places that we wanted to go, and like they're like random places,
right?
And he keeps saying, we're going here. Okay, why the heck are we going here? All right, now we're gonna go here. And it's like, why the heck are we going here? Grandpa didn't tell them this, which it probably would have been a better trip for them had he mentioned it, but this is very much like my grandfather, not tell them. He was taking a trip down memory lane with him and my grandmother, who's passed away. She passed away back in 2007 or 8. I don't remember, 2008. And so he took them on a whole trip through Germany of going and seeing places that him and my grandmother would go to.
Oh,
and
nice.
They lived at, and all these things, but not really telling anyone of what he was doing. They were just going these places, and it's like, all right, well, let's go to another place now. Okay, now we can move. And it's like, what are we doing? We're supposed to be on a trip. We're supposed to be going to the castles. We're supposed to be doing all these fun German things. And they did none of the fun German things. All they did was they flew, 16 hours to Germany to just go cruise through memory lane, pretty much.
Did I tell you I found a note?
Oh, Mom. Yeah. Later on, Mom found a note, and that's how she found out that that's what they were doing. They still didn't know.
Oh, really?
She found a whole written note of all the places they're going to go to, and
so he had orchestrated this.
He knew exactly what he was doing, and he told no one what was going on, and he didn't even take you guys on the trip. You guys they had no clue. They're just like, this is the worst trip ever to Germany. Because we don't get to do anything because Grandpa's just telling them everything they're going to do. So trips down memory lane can be fun, but make sure that you tell people what you're doing if you're going down a memory lane trip, because it can potentially be sort of boring for other people. Yeah. Even in Germany.
Even in Germany. All right. Luke, you have any stories where you've gone back and visited something that had some significance in your personal life?
Not so much for me, but for Darlene. She had some really fond memories of her grandparents' home in Bayfield, Colorado. And she said it was the most beautiful place, and a little stream ran through their property. And so last summer we did that, Steve. We got in the truck and just made a weekend in Durango, and we found it, and she was very excited and happy about it.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm kind of like you. I grew up in just south of Albuquerque and haven't gone very far. So, I get down to that part of the country quite a bit because we still have property down there. But memory lane, unless I run into some high school friends or, that's it.
Yeah. Lenny, you're last but not least on this one. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have a pretty terrible memory, so it won't take too long to have something that I'm like, God, that feels like so long ago. I barely remember it. So I'll do occasionally, the first house I bought was in Golden, just outside of Denver. So once in a while, I'll try to find that house. And oddly, I can't really remember where it is very easily. So it's like a little bit of an expedition to find it. But then I'll kind of slow roll stalk that house. So I enjoy that kind of thing. I think the other thing that I've done that's close to memory thing is I've been away from from living in Philadelphia for a long time. And I did take Amy through kind of a trip of I think we bailed on Thanksgiving one year. We got there and decided we weren't going to dinner with family. And, I'm sure there was more drama than I'm remembering, but it's the point of bad memory. We decided to go, we drove to Atlantic City and walked along the boardwalk, which I didn't really do that much as a kid, but it was pretty close to where I grew up. and then went over to Ocean City, walked along the boardwalk, then drove all the way down to the ferry, took the ferry across into Delaware. And it was just kind of fun stuff that I did as a teenager that you had never seen, get like a slice of pizza at a good pizza on the boardwalk. I feel like that was a lifetime ago. So, that kind of stuff's always fun.
Yeah.
Lenny, are you from Philly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Nice.
Born and raised. The playground is where he spent most of his days.
It is. Yeah.
Hey-o.
All right. On that note, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Miss Beka Sue. Miss Beka Sue, what do you got there?
This bottle that I just had waiting here for me is a single barrel from MB Roland.
Okay.
That's about 111 proof.
All right. I like MB Roland. Okay, that's solid. A little bit of squeak there. We had to take a few points off, but overall the cork pop was good, so she's got the lead by far. We'll see what happens. We'll let Ryan go and see if he can beat that.
Beka Sue, don't forget to share the 111 with your mom there. Come on now.
There you go. All right.
I got you, Mom.
Margie's drinking. Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
It's not going
It's
to
gonna
go
be a
well.
crazy night. Margie's drinking.
Heads up for a crazy night, maybe.
Oh yeah. Hey now.
To complement the story there, I did stop by the old Red River Distillery.
Okay.
Picked up a little of the bourbon there, and let's see here.
We heard something. It wasn't as good as Becca's, but we did hear it. So
It was odd, Pop. It was odd.
congratulations. That was super high pitched, but congrats.
Sure
All right, Lenny, you're next.
Yeah. So keeping up the New England thing, I've got this bottle of Joe Louis bourbon, which I believe is a defunct NGP bottler. But before I get into a non-audible cork pop, I was actually, it was like 3 years ago. I was up here on this same deck working on the house, and I noticed a guy down on the street waving at me kind of frantically, and I thought he was a contractor. So I ran down and be like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" And he's got this bottle in his hand, and somebody, he lives like a mile that way and has a hotel down there, but somebody told him that I bought this house and have a distillery, so he wanted to come talk to me. He brought me a bottle. So,
Okay.
Joe Louis bourbon.
All right. Nothing there. Nothing. Becca has the lead. Luke's next, though.
I've got a bottle of 4-grain bourbon from Deerhammer.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay. Not as good as Becca's. Becca still has the lead, but I still have yet to go, and I've got Still Austin here. So Still Austin. Oh, that was solid. Ryan, who won? Who won?
Beka Sue, clearly.
No.
Clearly.
Well,
Winner, chicken dinner.
As wrong as that is, once you throw it to a judge, you have to accept it, despite their incompetence. So it's what we have to do.
Steve's very good at accepting it, isn't he? You're the idiot judge, whatever.
Cheers, gang. All right. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about MGP. Is this a distillery we would like to tour? We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
This is Jim Fosnut. I'm your bourbon buddy, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're wondering, do you want to tour Ross and Squibb?
Yes, Ross and Squibb. Yes, I can't get used to that name, first of all. But other than that, I like MGP. Yeah, the Ross and Squibb thing, it just didn't take. I don't know if it's ever going to take with me. Maybe the kids, they can get to accept it. But for me and my generation, people older than me, it's
You're
always
an
just
old
going to be
man,
MGP. Yeah,
stuck in your ways.
It's just going to be MGP to me. That's it. That's it.
It has MGP has such a better ring to it.
I know. Yeah. Ross and Squibb. Yeah.
I mean, Ross
Did
and
anybody
Squibb is
think
not
that was going to take?
No, I don't think so. No.
It's not a bad name. It's just it's too unfamiliar to associate it with anything.
Yeah, when you've been used to MGP for so long, and then, I mean, I've talked to off the record. The people that have the jobs, not the marketing people who, of course, came up with this, but other people, and they're like, nah, we just call it MGP. We only call it Ross and Squibb when we have to. Yeah, so that's just off the record, though.
I don't know if it matters, but first of all, yes, I would like to tour.
Okay.
Second, I'm not sure. Steve, I think you outlined that they don't have tours, but perhaps because I have stock in their company, and it's still on the stock exchange, MGPI.
It is, yeah.
So, yeah. So I thought, well, maybe stockholders would get a little tour or something.
Okay. Have you been invited yet?
No, I haven't inquired.
Oh, okay. They're not really set up for it. That's the whole thing. Now they can do them, but yeah, it's just like they're not set. I've taken 2 tours at MGP, but I mean, I'm Steve Akeley, for God's sakes.
You are special. That's for sure.
I got to go on one. The first one I ever went on was a media tour. So I got invited to a media tour. Oh, it's fun. I mean, they roll out the red carpet. And then the other one was back when Jim Fosnut was with Total Wine. They were doing a barrel pick of multiple barrels for the 4 stores that were in the area. And we got to go on a tour with that too. So I got to see it twice. And again, kind of 2 different, because they don't have a standard tour, the tours were kind of different. And it was cool to be able to see, even a little bit different stuff when I went on the second tour. So I thought that was kind of cool. So,
Steve,
yeah.
Was that the set of tours, or one of them, when your tour guide had a deer hammer sticker on his hard hat?
Yes. Yeah. And I didn't realize it at the time. I hadn't put it together, but the person who had that on is a big deal now. So he's one of the key distillers there. Ian Sturzman is his name. And he has one of Lenny's stickers on his hat. It's like no one cares that your whiskey's made in Kentucky or whatever
Does
it
it
says.
say no one gives a fuck?
Maybe it does. I thought with Margie there, I shouldn't say that. So. Yeah.
Oh no, my mom.
She's never heard that.
My mom's never heard the F.
She's
word
never heard the
before.
F-bomb, so I didn't want to be the first.
I'm not her daughter.
Is that where you learned it from, Beka Sue?
No. Hold on a second. I didn't learn it from her, but she's had it here.
Yeah. So yeah, Ian Sturzman was leading my tour, and like I said, I didn't know that he had progressed up to that when I did a event in St. Louis. Luxco contacted me and said, "Would you like to host a thing of our brands?" Which was, Yellowstone and Penelope and just the MGP logo. And so I'd said yes and did it. And Ian Sturzman was the representative of all the MGP distilling side of it. So I was like,
cool.
Shit, I know you, man. Yeah, so that was cool.
I'd love to go check it out one of these days. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Make a phone friend or something. I'd love to check it out. I think it'd be cool as hell.
Lenny, you too?
Yeah, man. There's no distillery I don't like to see, and I know, some folks get it, have been on enough tours, and they kind of might prefer to move towards whether it's like a distillery only offering a gift shop or to their tasting room. I like all the tours. I'm in it. I'll see every fermenter, every still. My favorite part are the I just call them the barrel dumps, but basically whatever mechanical thing they facilitated to dump their barrels. I love it.
Yeah.
It's all fun to see, especially on the giant scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Becca, how about you? Would this be of interest to you? You
Absolutely.
You give tours. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what, if anyone that says I'm not interested in touring MGP is a lunatic.
Yes, it's a very historic distillery.
It's historic.
It's huge.
It's massive.
Scale.
The amount of MGP that people drink on a daily basis is it's insane. I mean, the amount of bottles that people don't even know are MGP is insane. I mean, they're absolutely. I would love to see that place. I'm sure it's just a crazy place to look at. Also, that's why I like the name MGP. It sounds like it is the factory that it is.
Right.
MGP sounds like the factory. Ross and Squib, which is why they changed it to that. That sounds more like a craft distillery, which it is not.
Right.
Very good point.
Yes, that is a good point. They're missing a huge opportunity here, aren't they, though? And again, they've through the years, we can say what we want about MGP. They make fantastic whiskey. I think it would be hard to dispute that. But they're not so good at running brands. And again, this is why they got to the point where we're at now, where they had a whole team that was responsible for marketing and selling their brands. And, they acquire Luxco, which also owns Yellowstone, and they decide to get rid of their staff. All their salespeople and their people that are running their brands and all that, and just turn it over to Luxco. So now Luxco, as a company that's getting bought out, runs all of their, their brands and their in-house brands and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty interesting. But if they'd open up that distillery, consumers could take. It feels like a little bit of ownership to those brands. I mean, right now it feels still, even to this day, a little disjointed. Right? I mean, there's something missing because you can't go visit it and see how it's made and meet people behind the brand and stuff like that. I think that kind of hurts them. Whereas, yeah.
It's weird to not be able to see what's actually happening when you go to a quote unquote distillery.
Right.
You want to see at least fermenters or mash working or a still running or literally anything going on. Right.
Right. Yeah. And it seems like the loss of a huge opportunity, not only to build the brand. I mean, there'd be some intrinsic things that would be hard to even judge, like, what sort of growth are we getting because we open this up? Because people that come there experience it, leave, and then buy it back in their hometowns and things like that. So you get some of that. That's a little bit difficult to manage, but hopefully you see overall growth, and that's how you do that. But the other things is, gift shop sales are huge, and imagine, the amount of crowds that they're going to get in. I would think that that would be a big thing. I think that the cost of the tours themselves, they make a lot of money off that and stuff like that. And so I think it's a great opportunity. I think it would also be a little mini boon for Neely Family Distillery and the other distillers kind of up in that area, away from Louisville. As you're heading to MGP, it puts you right. You're gonna drive right past Neely if you're leaving Louisville, Kentucky, and heading up to visit MGP. It could be a cool thing for you guys if it ever happens, Becca. Yeah.
What they need to do, and obviously this would not happen because there's so many places, because no one generally says I bought this from MGP. But if they did, what they need to do is do a barrel pick with every single one of the NDPs that source from them, and have a barrel pick in there of each one of those with hundreds.
They could do that.
No, and just have a single barrel pick from each one of those in their gift shop, like specialty ones because know that they're not giving them their best barrels.
Imagine what they get from that. Yeah,
that would. And they could just have all those honey barrels that we know are in there, as their barrel picks in their gift shop, they would kill it. I mean, just think of how many of these brands that people are just obsessed with.
Right.
And then they get to go to where it's actually made at and like get the single barrel of it at the like from like hand picked at the place. Shit, they make some.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Totally.
Who's doing it best? Although they're not doing barrel picks, but they could. Is Bardstown Bourbon Company. So the companies that they partner with, they do sell their products in their gift shop, which is kind of cool.
There you go.
So yeah, but they need to take it, as Beka mentions, to the next level and then offer barrel picks that
the
gift
single
shop only
barrels
barrel
in
picks.
there.
Yeah.
Gift shop only barrel picks of like their like the that's the stuff that they'd have in there.
Right. And then the other thing is, Beka, we need to, coordinate the distilleries of kind of northern Kentucky and south part of Indiana, wherever they fall in for, just kind of like they got in MB Roland is in that little mini version of they got their own little trail of
like Tennessee,
and it goes into Tennessee and Kentucky. Yeah, it kind of combines both. You'd have to, somebody'd have to put that together because I'm sure that would be really cool. And then you get a lot of traffic again from that. It'd be a great marketing opportunity for sure. So.
I mean, it's actually a super pretty drive up to MGP from our place because you just cross over the river right into Indiana, and it's just it's like a
right
beautiful
there.
drive up there.
Yeah. So it's cool. Very cool. So there you go. We're all for it. I don't know whether it'll ever happen or not, but at some point it feels like on the money that they're leaving on the table, they're going to get the right person in there who's going to be like, all right, we can get our arms around this. And I get MGP is huge, but they could set up a tour that again, they've got so many, when you go into like their fermenter area, they're like, well, we got 28 of these buildings like this. Well, you don't need to hit all of them. You just hit, you figure out which one makes sense to logistically get them to see every part of the process and hit those and develop a tour around that. And for the most part, they're so big, the consumers wouldn't even be in the way because it'd be in such a small part of the process of where they're at. So
even if they did it like a once a month thing or something, like it's like a 30-person cap once a month tour, and then like offer some sort of like barrels or like bottles that they could buy in whatever. They would kill it. They could charge. I mean, they could charge a pretty penny for those tours.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, basically whatever they want to sell it for. Well, there you go. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Lenny, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me and the rest of Deer Hammer on social media, Deer Hammer, on the web at deerhammer.com. You can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
All right, Luke.
Yep, you can find me on Santa Fe at Luke Otero at Santa Fe Boutique Wines, and Luke Otero on LinkedIn.
All right.
I'm suffering from jet lag, so
yeah, it happens. It happens. Ryan, how about you?
Across all socials at 10th MTN Whiskey. Our website's 10thwhiskey.com. That's 10th whiskey with an E.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, that thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see me. The ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. You never know who's going to be in there. Sometimes Ryan's there. Sometimes Lenny's there. Miss Beka Sue's there many times. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
See you guys.
See ya.
Later.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing, the ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri, or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.